Hello, everyone. Um, Good morning, good day. I'm so happy to just here be with you, flowing from my dear friend David Laurie. Yesterday, started our week of exploration on the 6 qualities of the Dhamma. And as you join and seeing the chat messages, and I have this really good feeling that it's such a fortunate thing for all of us to gather and explore Buddha Dharma. It's a beautiful way to start the morning here for me. So I'm going to offer a few words about this remaining of the week, following what David had brought alive yesterday. And in this week, for our guided meditations, I'm going to introduce an arriving sequence that I learned from one of my teachers, Philip Moffitt. And this arriving sequence help us to establish sati, mindfulness, in a wholesome way. And what I realized is the steps of the arriving sequence maps to the quality of the Dhamma quite well. So I'm going to kind of weave this in a little bit as we do the meditation together. And it supports the insight practice that many of us have been practicing for a long while as this YouTube Sangha. And the arriving sequence has 3 components to it. It's arriving, being available, and aligning. And so arriving is this aspect of really allowing ourselves to gather and to collect, to establish mindfulness, mindful presence. And we do so such that we can allow our sati to become steady and stable. And then from there, we become available to the alive experiences that are happening, kind of alive to the Dhamma that's unfolding in front of us, in us. And then let the Dhamma naturally guide us in this whole exploration. And so I'll be touching in around the arriving first. It's not so different probably from what you've already been doing, except there is a little bit of emphasis on establishing from the get-go our mindful presence and let it really becoming steady and stable. We're less concerned about objects in the mind to begin with, but rather we're turned inward, kind of this inward orientation, gathering, connecting towards sati. And this is directly related to the qualities of the Dhamma that David brought in. Santihiko, akalio. The Dhamma is directly visible here and now, and it's immediate. And so we'll do that in this next few days as we unfold this. And I'll be doing a little deeper dive, flowing from David to the next quality, akalio, and that David brought in yesterday, kind of mentioned yesterday. So with that as an orientation, let's practice together. I'm going to start with the sound of the bell to help us arrive. as the sound of the bell fade away, arriving, arriving, arriving into the present moment, arriving into sati, mindfulness. Let yourself feel you're present. There is a felt sense of being present. It's not a conceptual thing, but you can feel and sense you're present. Gently, softly, gathering ourselves inward. Not in a hurry. We are coming into this moment now. Now. Objects in the mind may arise and pass. Here, at the beginning of this meditation, we're learning to establish sati. Let the attention rest inward. Mindfulness front and center. You may feel centeredness. A mindfulness all around at the sense gate. But the attention is not to follow the sense gate contact, allowing them to be there. Attention rests in sati. You are present. You're present in the here and now. Sandihito. Dhamma is visible here and now, directly. The momentary mindfulness may become continuous as we stay inward. Maybe you feel a kind of a flow of mindfulness. Or there is a stability that you began to feel. There may be a felt sense of presence, stability, quiet. The noun presence maybe expresses that stability, that stillness. Let the mindfulness become big, spacious. There is a wakeful aliveness when we're present for the ever-shifting, changing life moments. The Dhamma is visible here and now in a direct way. It's immediate. Unfiltered through the ideas, beliefs. You can feel and sense the aliveness of being present. Maybe a sense of being available is palpable. Available to the movements of the breath. Enlivening the body. Animating the body. Available to the sensations. Dancing, humming in the body. in the stability of a mindfulness, there may be a palpable sense of you are in time and it feels timeless. Akalio, resting here in the now. Softening the doing, remembering that the first Dharma quality is that the Dhamma is well proclaimed, well taught by the Buddha, complete and accessible. Aligning to this possibility of resting in the qualities of the Dhamma. Noticing any well-being that may be bubbling up. Calming, gathered, collected. quiet, feeling, sensing, and knowing. Sometimes connecting with breath can support the deepening and the stabilizing of sati. The direct and the immediacy of our experience being felt, sensed, may be nonverbal. No words are needed. There is a raw aliveness that you may feel, and let that be enough. As we close this meditation together, recollecting the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, so grateful that the Buddha discovered a path, discovered a possibility that's available to each of us, and taught the Dhamma that's complete and accessible. So grateful for the Dhamma, directly visible here and now, and it's timeless. In its immediacy, and so grateful for the Sangha, past, present, and the future. So grateful for this Sangha, this specific Sangha, practicing together from all around the world. And it is said that the Dhamma is good. Dhamma is good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. May whatever benefit that emerges from this heart, this mind, this body, may the goodness nourish the whole being. May the goodness be shared wide open in all directions. May all beings know Dhamma, goodness of the Dhamma. May all beings be held by the possibilities of happiness, well-being, joy, wonder, wisdom, and the liberating wisdom to free the heart and mind. Thank you, everyone, for practicing together. I'll share a few words going from David's exploration yesterday about the first two qualities of the Dhamma. That he used the words that the Dhamma is complete and accessible. In this Pali term, satikito and akalio that we brought in the meditation. And paradoxically, in the Buddha's teachings, and the Buddha also said that the Dhamma is not easy to see. How so? You know? And so there is a sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, number 26, for those who are interested, and called a noble quest or noble search. And the Buddha said this Dhamma that I have attained is profound, hard to see and hard to understand, peaceful and sublime, unattainable by mere reasoning, subtle to be experienced by the wise. It's a little paradoxical, when we say it's directly visible here and now and it's immediate. But the Buddha here says, this is hard to see, hard to understand. It's not being revealed in the same way through our logical analytics, And so the Buddha gave a reason why the Dhamma is hard to see, hard to understand. And he says, because people like cleaning, they love it and enjoy it. It's very hard for them to see this. I was reflecting and pondering on this line. I feel the truth of it. This chasing after something one way or another, clinging, grasping, this movements of reaching out, so often takes us away from living in the present moment in a more holistic way, and it blindside us in various ways. And often our mind can be preoccupied by the goals, the destinations that we want to go, and we just completely skip over what's right in front of us here and now. Yeah? And so I want to offer a couple of reflections on how it is that we might miss what may be directly visible here and now, that feels so immediate, so close. And in this reflection, I hope to allow us to become more and more clear with these tendencies, and then so that we can get out of our own way to allow the Dhamma to be revealed for itself. So one of these ways that we can be blindsided is that we often are living in the conceptual ideas and beliefs of what we're experiencing in life, rather than dropping into the immediacy and the directness of our experience in this raw felt sense way, without the conceptual filters. And then one of the teachers that I worked with had an analogy. It's like we're not pressing our face against a glass to look through and see something. That's not how we're doing this in our practice. But rather, we're dropping inside the experience to know the immediacy of experience within it. So there is that raw immediacy, directness that come alive as we drop below this surface level ideas and concepts. Our ideas often has associations of what's good and bad, what's right and wrong, what should be happening and should not be happening. It can distort the rawness of our experience. And it also often leads to a kind of reactivity that can happen. Because when we think something is not right and it shouldn't be happening, we can begin to judge, we can begin to blame, we can begin to fix before we even have a full range experience of what is really happening. So to go beyond or to kind of counter this kind of a tendency we have, it's not something wrong with us, it's just a habit tendency. To go beyond this, the prescription that the Buddha offered as in terms of practice path is that the Buddha emphasized so much on embodied, felt sense way of practicing. So we're dropping inside this alive experience rather than utilizing our projections and interpretations and ideas, stories about the experience. And as we drop inside in this raw way, in the embodiment, in a quiet, silent way, this embodiment has its own intelligence. And the Buddha used this word, and that it's not attained by mere reasoning. And this kind of intelligence is not based on logics or analysis. Another way that we can be blindsided is that we're not living in the present moment, here and now, so much of the time. But the aliveness, the Dhamma, is visible here and now. The aliveness of the Dhamma happens here and now. But how often we find ourselves being in the past or the future. And this clinging and grasping tends to take us out into the past and the future. And so we are not giving ourselves a chance to actually settle deeply into this timeless now. And so to counter this tendency, and this is why the Buddha also spoke so much about establishing sati, establishing mindfulness, to allow it to be our ground, our foundation in a felt sense way. And so in this arriving sequence that we did this morning in our practice together, we are learning to gently arrive in the present moment, and we gather our attention inward, turn towards mindfulness, sati. It has this kind of a felt sense to it. And we let ourselves really feel and sense into it. And in this raw way. And the other thing to say is that often clinging, grasping happens at the conceptual level. You know, what we're really grasping is the ideas, conceptual ideas in our experience. In a way, it's kind of not possible to be grasped because it's always a shifting and changing. And so as we practice in this way, little by little, we begin to allow this Dhamma that is visible here and now, deep in us, to be revealed naturally. We can live more fully in the dimensionality, multidimensionalities of being human. And we don't have to go anywhere else. And so this sense of immediacy has a timeless quality. Akalio, kalio is time, akalio, not of time. Right here, the life moments can freely flow. And we're alive to it. We are meeting it from this deep place, unburdened by the ideas and fixed views or the beliefs that we have. Can you feel that freedom that's already palpable right here? And so allow that to be a possibility as you go about the day. and establish a sati momentarily, maybe arrive multiple times a day. And we'll unfold these qualities tomorrow a bit more. So thank you for practicing together and enjoy the Dhamma together. Be well.